I want to take a few minutes to update everyone on our church and our direction. If you can pull up the slide, please. In the last couple of months, I have been meeting online with a gospel coach. His name is Dudley Hodges. He is a pastor of a church in Florida, and he planted his own church. So he's been there, done that. He's been in that church for 20 years, and he's told me many stories of how it was really tough in the beginning, but how now they're healthy, they're growing, and it's really encouraging to hear that. But I've been learning so much from him, and I learned that two things are very important for a strong launch team: unity and clarity. Unity and clarity. So I want to take some time to be very clear and get us all on the same page, and I even have it on video so that anyone who isn't here, or if you want to watch it again, you can rewatch this little session here. So in the last 6 months, two things have happened. One, I have casted vision and talked about doing an official launch on March 26th. And the second thing that has happened is, after casting this vision, a handful of people left us and went on to other churches. Now, there are pros and cons about this. The cons, obviously, it's never easy to lose people that you care about. Friends and family who have gone on to other churches, and they remain friends and family, of course. But since we've lost those people, launching on March 26th became a more difficult and daunting task. So I have been speaking to my coach, praying, and speaking to Melinda and the leadership team, and from this we also get some pros. But just a side note, just to explain who the leadership team is, it is me, Melinda, Joey, Rita, Tim Ottinger, Heather, Lo, and George. And they are what we can call the board of the church. Financial decisions, church direction decision, things like that. And part of my job is to recruit people into this team also, so I can have help making important decisions, and so I'm not doing that on my own. So back to the pros of this. The pros is we can launch at a later date and therefore have a little more breathing room, and a little more time to get things done. And also, the team we have now is more united about the vision. A team without unity is no team at all. So the people that we have now, it is a smaller group, but it is a group that is more united, and they know the vision. And so anyone who comes into the church will know the vision. And if they stay, is because they're with us. So I will do my best to be very clear about this vision and answer everyone's questions throughout these weeks, throughout these months. But today, real quick, I'm going to attempt to answer some questions that you might already have. And I'm going to put it on a slide so those who are more, who learn visually can see. So first of all, the first question is, what is the launch? And I think I get this so many times, like, what is the launch? Like, what's the point? What is it? So I use this illustration all the time. Before a movie is released, what do you see first of all? A what? A trailer, right? You see a trailer, or you see a teaser, okay, showing you a little bit about what you will expect in the movie. And so our Sunday services here right now, they are teasers for what is to come, a taste of what our church will be like. So we can call this pre-launch services. This is what we're doing now. See, what we get here, what we're seeing here, the children's ministry, the worship, everything, it really isn't what the vision is about. It's just a little taste of what it is. So the launch is a day when we will publicly announce that our church is ready to do ministry effectively and efficiently. It's basically saying this: we have enough resources, enough volunteers, policies, processes, and systems in place to provide a safe and enjoyable environment where people can meet Jesus and learn to follow him. So while it seems like we're an established church and we have it all together, we really don't. And just going into it, speaking to some people, we'll see that we don't really have the right systems and processes in place, and we need to get there. And so during this time before the launch, we will attempt to get to that part. So the other question is, when is the launch? So I haven't set anything in stone yet because I don't want to make a decision and then go back. But I'm kind of waiting to see when school starts again in the fall, because that is a good time to start, because people are going back into the routines of things. Sometimes people move to the city because they're going to college and they're looking for a church. They're looking to get plugged in. But from what I've gathered, September 10th seems like the best day, because it's 1 to 2 weeks after school is supposed to start, and it's after Labor Day. So after Labor Day would be the day to do it. But I will see when the schedule comes out for school and then make a decision then. The other question that I probably hear almost every week is, are we upstairs or downstairs? So church planning is all about trying new things. It really is about taking risks, trying new things, messing up, let's do it again. And going downstairs, at least to me, has been very beneficial, and I personally really liked it. We prayed together, we opened up, we cried together, we laughed together, and we were able to come closer as a family. But after speaking to the leadership team, we've decided to have services upstairs every week. And I don't know if you've noticed, we have been doing that every week for a couple of weeks now. But there are 3 things to keep in mind, okay? 3 things. One, we will be using video sermons, like today was an example. And this will help me out, so I don't have to spend a lot of time writing sermons every single week. I can focus on other really important things as well. But we will still be fed. We will still hear from other amazing pastors, amazing people. And so we will always have something like that. Another thing is, doing services every week requires more volunteers. So we need all hands on deck. We need everyone to serve. So if someone has been coming to our services for several weeks and they're just sitting there and not doing anything, you better believe I will go up to them and ask them to serve in some way. So right now, our church is not in a phase where we can actually accommodate bench warmers, okay? We need people out in the game. We need people out there playing the game, passing the ball around, helping each other, even if it's, pouring the water, the water boy, the water girl, even if it doesn't seem like it's important. We need everyone involved. We need all hands on deck to make this happen. And we're in this together. And the third one is, we also need to make an effort to pray together, because part of the reason why we went downstairs is also to pray together, and that is fundamental. That is very, very critical for a church plant. So I'm not really sure how we're going to accomplish that. I don't know if we're going to just have a monthly prayer service up here, or if we're going to encourage coming here before service a little earlier and getting together and pray. We've tried that in the past, and the attendance was really low. So I might have to give out surveys for you to fill out. When is the best day for you guys to come in? Because prayer, if we don't pray, forget it. We might as well just close the door, leave, because it's not going to happen. So those are the 3 things to keep in mind if we're going to do this here upstairs and have a normal service. So what is going to be our focus? So here are some of the things that we were going to be focusing on through the summer until launch. First, we will work on the essential ministries that we want to have in place when we launch. The essential ministries. We can't start the church with, a men's group, a women's group, and this group, and that group, and this group, and we can't. So we have to figure out what are the essential ministries and focus on those. And this is going to require a lot of training, a lot of time. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to develop some video trainings, so that instead of sitting down with someone, everyone getting together in a room and me training, We can do a video where you can do it on your own time, where you can be trained on your own time. And of course, some things you have to get together to teach and to train and to do things like that. And we've already started. We have Dan and Louisa there who have been coming for about a month or two, and they're already back there on their own, thanks to Christy and Corinne, who have trained them to help with the computer. So that's the kind of stuff we'll be looking at. So it's not so overburdened for everyone, to be there every single week. We can take breaks in between. The other thing is we need to identify primary roles and secondary roles. And this is what I learned from Coach Dudley, I'm going to call him, Coach Dudley. Everyone has a primary role, and this role is what you're gifted in, okay? This is what you're passionate about. This is what gets you up in the morning, and if I can do this thing for a living, I would, okay? So we have to figure out what that is for you, because whatever that is going to be your primary role here in the church, because you're not going to be asked to do it. I'm not going to have to pull your teeth to do it. You're just going to do it because you love doing it anyway. Your secondary role is something that doesn't require a gift. If it's stacking chairs, if it's turning on the lights, if it's putting music away, if it's cleaning up, that doesn't, I don't have the gift of cleaning. Yes, you do, So everyone is going to have a primary role, but everyone is also going to have a secondary role. Something that, you're just going to do and just to help out. That doesn't take you to be gifted in that certain role. And we'll give personality tests, spiritual gifts tests to kind of help you know what that primary role is and how you tick, and it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. These are the 8 ministries or teams that we have in mind. Worship team, worship support team, and I'll explain this a little further down the road. Worship support team, which are people who just kind of like take care of things, like Melinda is doing that right now. She's getting the songs out. She's getting our waters, right? Joey, he's kind of like taking things off the stage. Those are things that we can have people in place who can do those things. That's the worship support team. We have the first impression and security team. We have a Pure Kids team. We have missional life group team. We have events and outreach team, finance team, and marketing and communication team. So you can look at those things and already begin to think like, all right, like where can I get plugged in? Where do I want to try to get plugged in? Another thing that we will focus on is we will set some reachable goals. There we go. Set some reachable goals. Instead of huge goals that seem impossible, guys, we're going to fill this room with the 120 people we're going to fill it next week, yeah! And then like 2 visitors show up, and we're like, oh man, like we didn't fill it up. Like, wait, hold up. We have 2 visitors, all right? So I want to, and I learned this from Coach Dudley too, set some reachable goals that we can celebrate. And I'll give you an example. I've realized that even while we haven't reached our big goals, God is working. For example, our fundraising goal of $150,000 seems like so big and unreachable. It's like climbing Mount Everest. But by God's grace, we've reached over $10,000. So it's like, why aren't we celebrating that? Right? So I want to set these goals, these smaller goals, whether it's financial or whether it's attendance or whether it's number of volunteers, whatever it is, and celebrate those wins. And really understand that God is working here, even though sometimes we don't really see it. Other things that we will focus on is we will develop life-giving friendships, and we're already seeing that now. And I think Life Group really helps with this, but also just hanging out with people. And we begin to understand more about their life and more about what's going on, and we begin to just call each other friends, and not just brothers and sisters, but also friends. And we're going to be reaching out to the community. This can even be on a Sunday morning. Like, hey guys, instead of being here, we're going to go out there and we're going to love people. We're going to give out water, whatever it is. I know there's a lot of races and runs that happen on Sundays. It's like, you know what? Let's go out to where the people are and love them and go where they go. So we're going to be doing that this summer. And also, we will be having meetings that aren't boring. I hate boring meetings, and these meetings that I want to have will get things accomplished and help us actually move forward. Some meetings will be just for the leadership team, but other meetings, I might ask you, maybe you have a certain expertise that will help us make decisions. Now, hey, can you step into our leadership team meeting and help us make a decision on a certain topic, whatever that is. So we'll be doing that as well. And we will be building the launch team. First of all, what is the launch team? Launch team is everyone who will be in the process of helping us get launched and gain momentum. So it's everyone who will be here on launch day. Let's say September 10th for now, okay? Everyone who will be here on launch day helping, volunteering, or just showing up, that is the launch team. And how do we do this? I'll get more into this later on. But two simple ways is this. Cast vision, meaning go out there and tell people, tell your friends, tell your family what God is doing here at Pure Word Church. Tell them what you're involved in, how you're volunteering, and invite friends and family only. Okay, and I'm going to emphasize this only. Friends, I'm even going to say close friends and family only. And why do I say this? Because we still need to get a lot of things done. For example, we don't really have a check-in system for kids right now. So if we were to invite people out in the community to come in and we don't have a system in place for that, it can really do harm for our church if something were to happen. We don't really have the policies and things in place. We need more volunteers. So, I mean, if you explain to your family and friends and say, hey, listen, we're just starting out, we're still learning, we'd love for you to come and check it out and just see what you think. When they come in here and see that it's a little chaotic, they're going to understand. But if we start inviting the community, they will come here, maybe see that things are, this is weird. They may never come back because they'll see like, this doesn't seem safe for my kids. Like there's no check-in system. And they may never return. So we want to avoid that. We want to get everything ready. So then on launch, that's when we start inviting the community. Community, come over. We're ready to accept you. We are ready to have you come in. Does that make sense? Are you guys tracking with me? And so Easter is on April 16th, okay? So this is a great opportunity to invite your friends and family only, okay? And tell them, hey, what are you doing this Easter? Come to Pure Word Church, check it out. And I am going to preach the gospel, but I'm also going to be recruiting people to our team. Now let me explain this really quick. Maybe your friends and family are already part of a team or part of a church. What we can do is we ask them to be missionaries to our church. So for example, maybe your family members are part of a church, they're plugged in there. You can go to them and say, hey, listen, September 10th, we're going to launch, and we really need volunteers, we really need help. Would you consider praying and talking to your pastor and seeing if you can be a missionary to our church for a period of time? Maybe that could be 3 months, or maybe 6 months, or maybe even a year, where you will come here, you'll be part of our church, and you will serve. And then once your year is up, you can go back to your church, and your pastor knows that, you know, we're not stealing sheep from other people. We are here as missionaries, per se. Some people will go back, and some people will remain, depending on how they feel and what God is calling them to do. We will be focusing on fundraising, and we can do fundraising, like I said, in smaller chunks and celebrate the wins. And we do have a large goal, but whatever God blesses us with is what He wants us to have. And so I don't want to feel like we failed if we don't reach that goal. And guys, I'm always available to chat. I'm very approachable, and we will be updating our fundraising and vision video with the new date. And once we choose one, and I'm going to ask you guys to please share it when that time comes, so that everyone can know about it. That's pretty much it for the vision update. I hope this gets everything clear. And now I always ask this: please give me feedback if you have any questions at all, if you have any concerns at all, please come to me, okay? Please, or Melinda, or someone. I don't want you guys to the parking lot conversation at the end of the meeting. People talk and I don't know what's going on and then people leave. It's like, what? I don't want that to happen, okay? So please, if you have any issues with anything I just said now or any questions, please come to me. I'm very approachable. I'm not going to punch you in the face. I'm going to love you, okay? And I'll try to explain more about what's going on, okay? But I am in this with you, meaning I don't know everything. I don't know what God's going to do. I just know he's going to do something. And so we're in this together. We're family. And I know that God is going to do great things through us and in us. Amen? Amen. All right.